Hello, my starry skies. Bird here. It has been a hot minute since I last made a video. Or at least, it feels like a hot minute. Before anyone can call me out for being lazy, which I was, on making videos despite my personal goals, I've actually used the missing time to improve myself through other means. Every day, I seek out new things to learn and improve my vocal skills so that I can reduce my stuttering and confusing ramblings. In fact, I'm aiming to take voice acting just a little bit more seriously so I can naturally sound less bored and done with life. Either way, I am currently stuck reading from a script as doing improv is not a strong suit just yet. This boy here is the humanized version of my fluffy little star griffin, Orion. He'd still be named Orion if it wasn't for the fact that everyone around me nicknamed me Bird for a good while. And I just let it stick. Plus, it was very fitting when you pair him with his partner, Dragon. So, what you're watching here is me making little bits and pieces that will be put together in a little animation loop. It wasn't so hard. I mean, the only challenge I had was plotting ahead what moves where and where they would be still attached at certain points. If you didn't catch it on my Twitter, you'll actually see the final result at the end of the video with a special little theme made by my music man, ZackValence. Until then, let's share a bit of creation lore and facts of this character, yeah? Bird, or Orion, didn't have the sunset design on his feathers at first. Back when I used Paint Tool Psi, I had a brush that would allow me to draw a galaxy design upon him. But with how the program worked, I had to repeat the same step over and over in hopes to make any resemblance to said galaxy. Then finish it off with the Orion's belt constellation inside the wings. The whole design felt tedious and hard to follow for others, and it wasn't until the opportunity to upgrade my art program to Clip Studio Paint did I try to redesign his colors. Though I dropped the constellation on the inside of his wings, a large rule of thumb for his feathers is that it doesn't have to perfectly be the same all the time. The stars can shift around on its own or reflect the sun strongly upon the feathers even though it came from the topmost part of his wings. He also had the personality of a grumpy bird, completely opposite to the soothing yet flirtatious avian that I made him today. He'd still have his grumpy moments, but he prefers to work things through so he can get back to making others smile or be the comfort needed. While the feline sign of the griffin is obviously a lion, the avian side is not an eagle. In fact, I often joke that he's either a raven, owl, or crow. Perhaps he's less of an owl, as I don't see him turning his neck to look behind him just as easily, but I can imagine his wings produce less sound if he decides to fly through the night. Bird has a strong fondness for catnip. As long as it's potent, he will try to ingest it, either in tea, smoked as is, or baked into special pastries for himself. If you accidentally spill the catnip in front of him, he will roll and rub into it, similar to actual cats. Don't be surprised if he ends up meowing or growling while his face is buried into the stuff. Bird and Dragon are named as such because they traded their names in order to live in a new universe, and avoid treason from both of their clans. They remember what their names are supposed to be, however, they cannot share the info or address each other as such. Sometimes, at night, Bird will look to the sky and seek out his constellation. To him, taking his name is like ripping away a strong part of his identity and ripping a hole of his existence. If anything, did his original family remember anything about him the moment he traded his name? Or did they simply forget? After all, the inside of his wings used to contain his constellation. It was due to the change of art programs and his redesign, but I still think that the constellation was a huge part of his identity. And finally, Dragon and Bird lives and works at a little cafe shop with a side business of granting wishes. If there is something you need in life, come to them and they will grant you your wish so long as you follow their directions. Those who come in with nefarious desires will either be given a hard time or simply denied. For those who want some extra protection, dragon scales are sewn into articles of clothing. Nightmares can be chased away with dream catchers made with birds' own feathers. But if you want to feel good with tea that seems to be brewed special for your being, or pastries that brings you delight, you are free to reside in the cafe until closing hours. That's all I have for a bird that I'm willing to share at this current moment. I wish to have a semi-regular video process. Maybe I will host some speed paintings with music featured by my music man. Maybe I'll have something to talk about, but in the end, I still want to practice talking normally and confidently. I will appreciate it if you stick along for the journey so long as I keep it up, but I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. Well, until then, I'll see you in the new morrow.
On high they soar, so